Hello, everybody. Thank you for attending today. I'd like to introduce you to Ty Cohen. He's been doing this Kindle stuff for a long, long time. He's really, really talented guy, and I'm glad you're here today so you can hear what he has to tell you. Ty?
Bill, hey, listen, I'm excited to be here. I appreciate that. And we were just talking behind the scenes about a few things, personal stuff. And guys, I'll tell you, if you have the opportunity to watch this, if you can hear my voice, you are in a good position. And I say that just to say that there's a lot of people who didn't wake up this morning, right? So we should be grateful just for having the ability to be here. I know that's a really weird way of probably starting a webinar, but I just had this overwhelming sense of gratitude that overcame me just now, Bill. So I wanted to share that. I've known you forever, it seems like. How long have we known each
Yeah,
other?
about 15 years.
Yeah, has it? It's been that long. Yeah. So I really respect you. We've got a lot of mutual friends. A good friend of mine, Sam England, and I know you guys are really good friends. He talks highly of you as well. So for me to be here is an honor, and I'm gonna do my best to give as much information as I could to you folks here. And I'm ready to rock and roll whenever you are.
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right, let's do it. Well, awesome introduction. I really appreciate that. I want to start this off with a really quick question because this will help me to gauge where you are. So, in your opinion, what is the hardest part of starting a business and making money online? Just type that into the questions box really quickly. And as you do that, I just want to mention a few things. You may not be able to see anyone else's answers, right? I think that with this platform that we're using, you can only see your answers. We have a ton of people that are on this presentation right now. So if I ask you a question, if you reply, or if you ask me a question and I don't get to it immediately, just keep in mind that there's probably a ton of questions that are being thrown at me in the questions box. So I may not be able to answer every single one, but I promise that I'll stay to the very end and answer as many questions as you folks have. How about that? The other thing is, I want this to be a really engaging webinar, right? I've watched a lot of these things, and for me personally, it gets kind of boring when the speaker is the only one that's taking part. So I want this to be like a one-on-one, one-to-many type of engagement process here. So I want you to ask me questions. I'll ask you questions. We'll be totally transparent with each other. We'll become a mini family within the next 60 minutes. How's about that? Is that pretty cool? All right, awesome, awesome. So Steve says, where do you start? We're starting right now, Steve. Actually, Steve is answering my question. There you go. Where to start, right? So here's let's do this. Let's start with some of the answers that are coming in regarding the question that I just asked. What is the hardest part of starting a business and making money online? I'm always intrigued by some of the answers that come in. So go in and throw them in, folks. Fred Gleek says, is this live or recorded? Fred is a good friend of mine too. Fred Gleek, we go back really way back in the days too, Fred, right? How long has that been? Maybe about 15 years. Bobby is in Illinois. Let's see. Michael says finding a product. Alan says marketing the product. Gopal says getting the money, right? So that's always an issue. Bobby says getting customers, generating traffic, says Steve. Do you see me, says David. Suppose David, yes. All right, so that answers that question of if we are live. We always get that, right? Where do you start, says Steve. I just answered, read that one off. What product do you sell? Right, so that's always a big issue, right? When you're starting a business, what product do you start with? What do you sell initially, right? How do you find out if there's an audience? uh, Diane has a great one. She says sustaining a consistent income each month. Steve says how to set up an e-commerce business. That's pretty big, right, nowadays. um, Kathleen has one that is a big objection for a lot of people, right? And that is starting. She says starting is pretty easy, but making money is hard. And then Fred answered the question. Fred Gleek, he says many, many years. So awesome. So thank you for that input here. Let's jump right into this, folks. What I want to show you on this presentation is the exact 3 steps that I take to generate $30,000 to $50,000 a month by publishing short 20-page ebooks and reports on Amazon.com while getting, right, and this is the important part, while getting other people to do most of the work. And I'm going to show you how you can ethically copy everything that I do to make this amount of money. Now, here's a quick disclaimer. I've been doing this for many, many, many years, right? So like you, when I first started, I had a lot of these objections. I didn't know where to start, didn't have money, I didn't know what product to sell, I didn't know how to get myself in front of the right audiences and traffic, and it was just a nightmare. So luckily, I came across a platform and I put together like this system that created this peanut butter and jelly type of an approach that really works out extremely well, not only for myself, but for everyone that I share this with and that takes action on it, right? Because there's two parts to that. I can share it with you, but you have to take action on it. So everyone that I share this with and then take action with it in the way that I share it with them really, really end up doing well with this. Now, if you stay until until the very end, right? If you stay until the end, I'm going to share this recording with you so that you can go back and rewatch it as many times, as often as you want, because I'm going to give you a lot of information. And I know that you may not be able to write everything down, and there's some stuff that you may miss. It's just like watching a good movie, right? If you watch it the second or third time, then you'll see things that you didn't see the first time. So I'm going to give you the recording, and I can even give you the PowerPoint presentation if you want. Um, if you stay until the end, what I'll do is I'll extract all of the email addresses, right, from the system of everyone that stayed to the end, and then I'll have my assistant send that out to you. Does that sound good? How about that? Okay. So my name, as Fred said, not Fred, I'm sorry, Bill said, is Ty Cohen. I've got Fred Gleek in my head now. And I actually first got started with a program that Amazon had many, many years ago called their Advantage program. And this was where you would sell physical books, right? And you could actually send your physical books in, books that you self-published, into Amazon, and Amazon would handle like the fulfillment, all of the shipping, the refunds, the order taking, and everything else. I actually got that up to the point where I generated six figures within a year, right? It was like a six-figure a year business, and I did so well with it that Amazon invited me to become a beta tester for their Kindle direct publishing platform that they were just releasing. Now, I was a little bit skeptical about it at first because I thought digital books, like digital ebooks, who would really be into that? All right. I knew that within the internet marketing circles, we were used to that term, right? Ebook and digital books and things like that. But I was a little bit skeptical as to how the general mass audiences would take it. Luckily, I was wrong, right? So I'm now known as the king of Amazon Kindle publishing. I've spent years running tests to discover what works and what doesn't work. I've tested things like price points. I've actually tested nearly 60 different price points over the years, and I have like four that work really, really well to generate the most amount of profit, right? Write that down. No matter what type of business you're running, you want profit to be your determining factor. There's a lot of folks that can show you big numbers, right? But if you look at the profit, I've got four kids. They care more about the profit than the actual revenue, right? So how much am I keeping, and how much am I keeping into the bank in my bank? Um, I've learned how to really maximize this system to generate a ton of leads, and I'll actually show you folks that if you want. I can log into one of my accounts live. I've discovered what topics work the best, and things like how you should format your covers the best as well, and how to start and profit fast. I've literally made millions with Amazon, okay? Uh, I've taught thousands of students across the globe. I've spoken at dozens of conferences and seminars globally on this subject. I was from Thailand to the UK to Japan. As a matter of fact, I just got off of a call with a gentleman this morning who invited me to speak in Venice. So I'm going to be doing that in May, which I think the end of May, which is pretty cool. May is really busy. I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling then. Um, I've taught dozens of 7 and 8 figure business owners how to do this stuff. Many of who you guys may have heard of before. And now I'm going to show you exactly how to do it as well. Right. So how many people are familiar with James Patterson? Give me a big one. Put a big one into the questions box if you're familiar with James Patterson. He's actually one of the world's most successful authors, right? He's written 158 novels. He's written 158 novels. And he puts out on average about 13 books a year. Okay. He sold a staggering 325 million copies globally, right? 325 million copies globally. That's a big number. He's had as many as 114 New York Times best-selling novels. He holds the New York Times record for the most #1 New York Times bestsellers by a single author, right? So that's like 67, which is a Guinness World Record. He's made as much as over $100 million in a single year, right? Over $100 million in just 1 year. He's made over 700 million from his books overall, right? These numbers are huge, right? And his titles have generated over $2 billion, right, collectively. But most importantly, and I want you to get this, most importantly, with all of this, he wasn't able to do it on his own. He has 23 co-authors, right? 23 ghostwriters. And still, there are some writers and authors who, like, they feel like they're not a real author if they don't write it themselves. And I want you to remember that as we go through this presentation, right? Patterson is 71 years old, yet he thinks and embraces leveraging the talents of other people like a young, hungry author or entrepreneur would, right? This is no longer a time where you can go in, you can publish just a couple of books and think that you're going to do really well. It can be done, right? But not as easily as you were able to do it when, I was first starting, or when Bill was first starting, or Fred was first starting, right? And as an author who wants to be successful, as an entrepreneur who wants to be successful, gain a legion of readers, and most importantly, make money to survive, you have to get the importance of outsourcing. And this is important. I want to really touch on outsourcing because not only do I outsource in this business, but I've got about 4 or 5 businesses, including real estate investing, where I outsource, right? I outsource a lot of things like finding properties and, crunching the numbers, and then they'll come in and they'll present everything to me. I've got 2 mobile app development companies where I outsource the graphic design, the software development. I can't do that stuff, right? I have a partner where I even outsource the creativity of what apps and games we should come up with next, right? Because that's something that he's passionate about. We hold workshops, so I outsource a lot of that, right? To the point where I just come in. Even this webinar right here, I outsource. So I outsourced the fact that the swipes, my administrator, she put those together and she sent those over to Bill. I outsourced the fact that she set the webinar up and GoToWebinar. And I outsourced everything else to the point where all I have to do is come here in my office, sit down in a chair, put on my headset, and start to present to you. All right. And it really changes things. It gives you more time to be creative, more time to work on the things that really make money. It's not the doing of things that make money, right? It's the creativity that really makes the money. I want you to get that, all right? So I'm going to deviate from this presentation here and there because I've got such a respect for Bill, and I want to share some things with you that really go on behind the scenes. So are you okay with that? Do you mind if I deviate every once in a while? And if you don't, let me know and I'll just stay on topic. But I really want to share some stuff with you that, from my perspective, being an insider has really worked for me. All right. Let's see. I think I'm stuck on my screen. Here we go. Right? There we go. So now you should be able to see it. Right? All right. So perfect. So let's jump right into this. All right. So now, if you don't know where to start when it comes to hiring ghostwriters, I'm going to show you exactly the entire process. Now, I started out working as a clerk at Walgreens Pharmacy, so there's really nothing special about me. If I can do this, you can do this as well. And I want to just put this out there, right? Because, again, we're going to be totally transparent, and I want to share with you everything from the ground up. So you most likely will not make thousands and thousands of dollars from the first ebook that you publish. Okay, so I'm always really skeptical of webinars where you jump on them and the guy's gonna say, you're gonna get rich with this within the next 7 days. You're gonna make bazillions of dollars within the next 30 days. That's not what's going to happen here. Okay, I'm just being 100% totally transparent with you. When I first got started, I just wanted to cover a few bills. I had just gotten married, and we had a couple of kids, and so for me it was just to make $500, $600, $700 a month, right? But This is a long-lasting business model that you can consistently generate income from for many, many, many years. As I said, I've been doing this forever, and it continues to grow month after month, year after year. All right. Um, each ebook, keep this in mind too. Think about this. Each ebook becomes another revenue stream that averages, for me and for my students, that averages about $500 a month in sales. Right? So I want you to remember that each ebook becomes another revenue stream that, on average, for me and my students, generates about $500 a month in sales. Now, you do have some where you've got like the little anomalies where you've got some that really take off, and they can make thousands of dollars a month. So every once in a while, it's a quantity game here. So keep that in mind, all right? It's just like with what I shared with you with James Patterson, where he pumps them out and he continues to add on to each one that's generating money. So I had a paradigm shift at one point, and this was when I had gotten my Amazon publishing business to the point where it was generating about $10,000 a month. And I had made a phone call to a good friend of mine, right, an accountability partner, someone that I had spoken to on a regular basis every morning. And I had just went to the post office, right, my P.O. box, picked up a check from Amazon. At this time, I was receiving checks in the mail from Amazon, and it was like 10,100 something dollars, but it was just over $10,000, and it was the first time I had hit the $10,000 a month mark. And I was like excited. I mean, I was pumped up. Like, this was a good way for me to start my morning. And I remember making this phone call to share with my accountability partner how excited I was, and that I had finally reached this $10,000 a month level. And he had said something to me. He said, Ty, you know what? There's no reason why you shouldn't be doing $25,000 a month. And it had dawned on me that, you know what? He's absolutely right. All it required was for me to do a little bit more work. Not a lot more, right? But just a little bit more work. So what I did was, that day, I totally brushed off everything else. And that morning, it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, I went back home, and I spent like the next 3 days literally writing out entire systems. I structured everything. I looked at and I reviewed everything that I had did to get to that $10,000 a month level. And I wrote out the entire process. Like, I must not have slept within that 3-day period. I probably didn't sleep more than 7 or 8 hours. So I've done all of the work, folks, for you. I put together the system, and then what I did was I took this entire system and I gave it to my daughter Maya, who was 13 or 14 at the time, and I told her, I want you to put this in place. She was my guinea pig, right? And she got her business, her own Amazon business, to the point where it started generating $5,000 a month, publishing mystery thriller novels, because it was something that she was really passionate about and reading. And now she's just about to turn 20, and she's in college. And guess who pays for college tuition, right? It's the Amazon publishing. Okay, so this is stuff that can really, really not only benefit you, but also your family. So what would this be like for you? Think about it, right? What would something like this be like for you? Keeping in mind that, again, it's something that you can really scale up. Okay, so now all I ask from you is that you don't abuse this system, and then you share what works. So I'm going to give you everything. I'm going to give you the entire 3 steps. Don't abuse the system. When I first started sharing this with a lot of people, they really did do just that, right? Give back. We have an entire Facebook community where we all share what's working for us. So I want to add you to that community. So now let's jump right into this. Before we begin, let's talk about what exactly is a Kindle device and why it's so important for anyone that's looking for an easy, secure, long-lasting residual way to make money. If you're not familiar with it, right? The Kindle device is a device that was created by Amazon, and I think it was brilliant because it totally changed the way that the publishing industry operates. This device allows you to be able to go in and shop for, download, and instantly purchase and read ebooks, newspapers, magazines, blogs, reports, and other digital media in just a matter of seconds, right? By inventing this piece of technology and making it available, Amazon totally changed things, right? To the point where there are now just literally billions of mobile devices on the planet Earth. And what Amazon did that I also think was really brilliant was that they created a Kindle application because they knew that not everyone was going to go out and buy the Kindle device. So they said, let's create a Kindle app that people can download, right, and use on any of the devices that you see here on your screen and still be able to access our store to go in and browse, purchase, and download ebooks and other material. So when they did this, they really opened up the floodgates. Okay. Um, as a matter of fact, the system that I'm going to show you is the very exact same system that I recently used to buy my mom a house. She just turned 78, right? And we used this entire system to buy her house, her dream house. I got her from Connecticut to North Carolina and paid cash for a house. All right. So here's a testimonial from one of my students, Brian. He says he's making $5,000 a month now using the system. His goal is to get to the $10,000 a month level. Here's another one from one of my students, Tracy Voister, who's over in the West Coast. She started, and then within 24 hours, got to the point where she's selling 5 copies a week. Here's another one of my students, right? Darren DeVry, 66 years old in Perth, Australia, making $20,000 per month in sales. All right. So you are at ground level of what is being called a new age diamond mine. And I want to share with you some of the money that I've been able to make just playing around with this before I created the system. Here's one of the first checks that I got was in the amount of $2,297.30. Now, when I first got this check from Amazon, I really didn't realize the potential because I had shiny object syndrome to like the 10th degree. How many people can relate? How many people are literally all over the place right now? For me, that's where I was at. So I wasn't in a place of total clarity, right? I was trying everything like article publishing, YouTube marketing, Google AdWords, everything. So when I first received this check, I didn't see the potential. It wasn't until 30 days later when I received the next check. Now, mind you, I didn't do anything differently in my account, but 30 days later, I received another check and it was in the amount of $2,873.13. Now, at this point, the light bulb started to go off because I said, you know what? It didn't take me any additional effort, but I saw a 25% increase. Why do you think that is? And I want you to post your answers into the questions box. Why do you think I was able to go from 2,200 here to 2,800 here without publishing any additional content or doing any additional work? Now, when I did get this check, I started to publish more ebooks, and the next month I went from $2,873 to bam, $4,462.53. When I received this one, then I totally dismissed everything else that I was doing, and I started to test and track things like ebook covers, price points, titles, writing of a description copy, and I went from $4,462 to $8,403.84, a whopping 88% increase. And then from there, I continued to publish more ebooks, and as I said earlier, continuously see months where I generate between $30,000 to $50,000 a month. Now, why do you think, right? I saw those increases at the very beginning. Kent, I like that answer. Kent says because Amazon did the work. Absolutely, that's part of it, right? So Amazon will market your books, right, to a degree. How many people have ever purchased something from Amazon where as you're in the process of shopping and checking out, they'll show you other products that other customers have also purchased as well, right? Bobby says buyers talked about your books. Yes, right? So word of mouth, and word of mouth can come in the form of someone telling you about an ebook, right? So if Bill told me about an ebook or about a book that he purchased and that he enjoys, then there's more of a chance that I'll go in and purchase it as well. All right. More marketing, says Eric. Yes. But again, to be totally transparent, I don't do much marketing for my books. I don't do much marketing. What else? Word of mouth, says Steve. Yes, that's it. What else do you folks think? And type in your answers there. Now, this is also the perfect lead generator. So as you see here, I was able to generate 3,352 new leads in the last 30 days. Now, I want to log into my account live. So remind me to do that, folks, as well, okay? Remind me to do that because I want to show you how many leads I've received within the last 30 days as of this moment, but I'll do that a little later. So just don't let me forget that. And I'm going to show you how I also generate a ton of money with these leads, right? And how you can extract the leads from Amazon. Now, what makes this different is the fact that you're partnering with Amazon. It's a real business, right? You're partnering with a multi-billion-dollar business, Amazon.com, and it's a system that's easy to make money and drive leads with month after month after month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you the 3 methods that I use to really go in and do my market research and come up with really great ebooks to sell on Amazon. So you folks ready to jump into this? Give me a big yes if you're ready to jump into this. I want to see the engagement. I'm excited because I always get excited talking about Kindle publishing because it's responsible for some really cool things happening in our lives, right? So give me a big yes, right? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, because of Amazon publishing, we were recently able to take our 4 kids and my wife and I to Thailand for like almost an entire month. We flew into China. Then from China, went to Bangkok and then stayed there for about 10 days. And then from Bangkok, went to Chiang Mai, stayed there for just over a week. And then from Chiang Mai, went to Phuket and stayed there. And again, that's all possible because of the income that I'm able to generate with this stuff. So we'll jump right into this. Secret number 1, I'll show you how to come up with a best-selling book idea in 3 minutes, even if you've never done anything like this before. Remember, my 15-year-old was able to do all of this stuff. So I've simplified this process, right? I've taken what Amazon has made hard and I've distilled it down into a simpler process for you. I'll also give you secret number 2. I'll show you 3 ways to get your ebooks created super fast, even if you dislike writing, right? So I was able to, not able to, right? It wasn't one of my goals, but I actually failed English 101, right? Not once, but twice. So if I can do that, right, you can definitely do that. So it shows you where my literary skills are at. Secret number 3, I'll also show you how to publish and launch your Kindle ebooks quickly and easily so that you can start making sales. Now, secret number 1, how do you come up with a best-selling book idea in just minutes, even if you've never done any of this stuff before? So for this part, right, this is one of the most crucial aspects of this whole entire process because it's where the market research comes into play. Now, using what I like to call, or not what I like to call, but what is known as the Google Keyword Planner, I'm able to come up with some really good ideas. All right, so this is one way that you can do it. You go over to Google and you type in Google Keyword Planner. Don't do it now because I'm going to share exactly what you should be doing with this, and I want to make sure that you're paying attention. So now, when you do that, right, you're going to see a platform or a control panel that looks similar to what you see here on your screen. Now, Google changes this up from time to time, but for the most part, it functions the same. So now you're going to see a drop down here that says search for new keywords using a phrase, website, or category. All right. Here, this area here where it says your product or service, this is where you're going to enter the keyword that you want to do some research on, the topic that you might think might make a good ebook, right? Or the genre if you want to go that route, because this works for fact and fiction, right? This entire process that I'm sharing with you. Then down here, you're going to come in and you're going to select all locations, all languages, Google and search partners, okay? And then you're going to hit get ideas, right? So do that. And then when you do that, what's going to happen is Google is going to show you the monthly search volume for your phrase and for similar phrases. So for example, here you'll see dreams interpretation. Now at this point, right, I typed in dreams interpretation because at this point in my life, I was studying lucid dreaming. How many people are familiar with lucid dreaming? It's really, really cool. If you're not familiar with it, lucid dreaming is, yes, memoirs as well, Bobby. Lucid dreaming, it actually works really well for memoirs as well. Lucid dreaming, Bobby's question was, does this work for memoirs? Yes. I publish a fair amount of those. It's easy money. So lucid dreaming is the ability to be able to control your dreams as you're actually dreaming. How many people are familiar with it? I know that's a little bit off topic, but this is how I got to this point, right? It's fascinating. It's especially cool for goal setting or trying to solve a problem or anything like that. Eric says he's familiar with it. Kathleen, EJ, awesome. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, Michael says he's already a Kindle Cashflow member. Yes, Michael. Yes, absolutely. All right. So hit us up. Send us an email at support@kindlecashflow.com. All right. So he lost his login. He wants to get back in. So Michael, can you give me a testimonial as to how well this thing, how much you like this system since we have you on here live? All right. Yes, for fiction and young adults, John. John has a question. He says, does it work for fiction and young adults? Yes. So my daughter publishes mystery thriller novels, right? All right. So now, when you're using this area here, right? Again, Google is going to give you the monthly search volume, not only for your phrase or your keyword that you typed in, but also for similar phrases. So, for example, meaning of dreams received 18,100 monthly searches within the last 30 days, right? This is within the last 30-day period. Dream meaning, 2,900. Dreams meaning, 2,400. Dream meanings, 1,900. Right? What I found, and I want you to really focus in on what I'm saying. What I found is if you can get your combined monthly search volume to be between 10,000 to 100,000, then you've really hit the honeypot, right? As a lot of my friends over in the UK like to say, that's like the sweet spot right there, right? So if you can, I'll say it again because I want you to really get this, all right? Write this down. If you can get your combined monthly search volume to be between 10,000 to 100,000, then you have a good niche. All right. If this is something that over the many, many, many years that I've been doing this has always, all right, not always, but 99% of the times has proven to be 100% true for me. So I want you to get, this is important. All right. So, all right, great question. So someone's asking, why the number 10,000 to 100,000? So my theory is that anything less than 10,000, right, then the marketplace is just not big enough. It's not big enough. Like this Amazon platform is amazing for being able to position yourself in front of buyers. Think about that. Everyone that visits Amazon has a credit card in hand, right? Amazon has like almost 1 billion credit card numbers on file. That is insane. Amazon and Apple. So everyone that visits Amazon has a credit card in hand, whether it's in their hand, right, in their wallet or in their pocketbook, and they're ready to make a purchase, or even better, it's on file. How many people have a credit card on file right now with Amazon? Give me a big one. Give me a one. The ones are because I want you to see this. Right? It's the ones are flying in. EJ, Bobby, Kathleen, John, Steve, Sue, Diane, Jean. All right, the ones are everyone here. Literally everyone that's watching this thing. Jean. All right. So now, if your combined search volume here, in my experience, is less than 10,000, then it's like having a Ferrari on a dead-end street. You've got all the power of Amazon. You've got all the power of a supercar, but you have nowhere to go because the marketplace is just not big enough. And I don't know about you, but I prefer to put my time and energy into something that's going to like be massive enough to a point where it makes a ton of money. Does that make sense? Does that make sense as to why I want it to be more than 10,000? Give me a big yes, and then I'll cover why we don't want to go past 100,000. Right? Because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that you get every single drip of what I'm sharing with you. I will not have done my duty if you don't get what I'm explaining to you. All right. So give me that yes. All right. Perfect. Everyone says yes. Steve, Kathleen, EJ, Diane. Everyone is saying yes. Michael here. All right. So now, by the same token, you don't want it to be more than 100,000 because then the universe, right? That's an old marketing term. I come from a direct marketing background. Your universe is just a little bit too big. Right? So I found again that 10,000 to 100,000 is the sweet spot. And I'm harping on this, yes, I know, because it's that important. It's like the blood to your body and you being able to live and breathe right now. Right? Now let's jump on. Let's move forward here. Okay. So now the other reason why I love using this Google Keyword Planner is because you can really cherry pick some awesome titles, folks. You can really cherry pick some awesome titles here. All right. I'm going to go back for a second. Let me go back to this because I just got a thought in my head and I want to share something again. There's so much stuff that I do with this that I don't want I want to try to give you as much as I can remember, even if it's not directly in this presentation. Is that cool with you folks? One of the things that I also don't do is I never publish seasonal stuff. Because for the same reason why I don't publish anything that has less than the 10,000 combined here, I don't want to put the effort in and I see a spike in sales just once a year. I don't publish seasonal. I don't publish fads. I don't publish things that, are just going to be one-hit wonders. Because you can put the effort in and get something that's good. I've got books that I published 5, 6, 7 years ago that are still generating income. You can put that same effort into something that's going to be a long-term hit. Does that make sense? All right. All right, so now let's jump into the other reason why I like using this Google Keyword Planner. And do you guys mind if I deviate like that every once in a while? If I get something that I'm doing that pops into my head, do you mind if I share it? Give me a yes or no, and we'll see. We'll take a big survey right now. Give me a yes if you do. No. Okay. Cool. All right. So the yeses are coming. All right. So now the next thing is. The other reason why I love using this Google Keyword Planner is because it's just a perfect way to come up with killer titles, right? And your titles are going to be your first line of defense when it comes to selling and massively selling on Amazon, because the first thing that people pay attention to for the most part are your titles, not even a cover, right? But the titles. Okay, so take a look at some of the titles that I have highlighted here. Meaning of Dreams, right? That would make an awesome title. Dreams and Their Meanings. That would make an awesome title, right? Especially if we're talking about a book that covers what your dreams mean. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to use some of the phrases that I get from within the Google Keyword Planner as my main title, and then I'll add a subtitle onto them. So Meaning of Dreams. So then my subtitle might be something like How to Decipher Last Night's Dream. Or if I come down here and I'm thinking about using Dreams and Their Meanings as my main title, I might add something like how to tell if your dreams are lucky, or how to tell if your dreams will come true. All right. So go ahead, do that. Type into the questions box. Give me an example of a subtitle that you would use for either one of these. And the perfect thing about this is that you can really cherry pick some awesome titles at times that are getting just a ton of searches, right? That are getting a ton of searches. So imagine having an ebook published on Amazon with a main title of Meaning of Dreams, right? And then you've got your subtitle, but then Meaning of Dreams, that phrase is getting like 20,000 monthly searches. Like that does a lot for your sales, and I'll show you in just a moment why, even though this is coming from Google, it still does a lot for your sales on Amazon. All right, so let's see. Steve says, Meaning of Dreams, Understanding Your Dreams. That's good. I like that one, Steve. Let's see. Cindy says, Dreams and Their Meanings, Understanding the Messages Received While You Sleep. That's actually really good, Cindy. I like that as well. Kathleen says, Meaning of Dreams, Understanding the Messages in Your Dreams. That's pretty similar to what Cindy just typed in. EJ says, Understanding Your Dreams and How to Use Them. That's a good one as well. There you go. So that's perfect. I like that. You folks are getting it. There's a lot more that are coming in, but for sake of time, I'm not going to read all of them. Now let's jump right into the rest of this. One of the questions that I get often is, Ty, why do we use the Google Keyword Planner to find titles? Why do you use the Google Keyword Planner to find titles? Well, one of the reasons why is if you craft your titles correctly, right, you increase the chances of them ranking high within both Amazon and Google search engines. Right, so ranking high on both Amazon and Google will dramatically boost your sales because you've got both of these multi-billion-dollar companies that are helping to push customers over to your listings. All right, you have, when you do this the right way, in a way that I'm showing you here, you get both of these companies that are multi-billion-dollar companies. You get both of them pushing customers your way. And let's look at this, exactly why this works so well. So let's pretend, right, that there's someone who has an ebook on Amazon listed how to market and sell your ebook. There's this ebook that's out there already, right? But let's also pretend that there's someone else. You've got John who has this book, Sarah who has this book. Then over here on Google, you have John who has his book. He's thinking about selling an ebook, or he has one already, but he doesn't know how to market it. So he goes over to Google and he types in how to market and sell your ebook because he wants to get more sales. He types in, he hits search, and then what comes up here? This is in Google. What are these first listings here? And I heard that this is a very bright audience, so I know not everyone, but some of you know what these are. What are these first listings here? Thank you, Cindy. All right, those are the ads. Okay, those are ads, right? So for the most part, because we realize, most people will realize that these are ads, what happens is that on a subconscious level, they gloss down and they focus more on the organic area, right? Because they want to find out what Google is organically, right, listing as great information on how to market and sell your ebook. So now look at what happens here. With two listings, one of them comes directly from Amazon. So out of these two, which one would stand out the most? If you're searching for information on how to market and sell your ebook, I want you to position yourself, picture yourself as the individual that's doing this search right here, right? Now, you're ignoring these for the most part because you know that they're paid, right? But then you come down here, which of these two will stand out the most to you? And let's see what's coming in here. Amazon, right? The bottom one says David. Kathleen says Amazon. Michael says I would go for the stars. Good point, Michael. So now that leads me to my second question. Why would you go with this one? There's probably about 6 or 7 reasons, but as Michael just pointed out, one of them is the stars. But what else makes this listing stand out? Diane says Amazon because there's an inherent trust with them, right? Kathleen, that's one that I've never heard before. It's easy to buy, but it's 100% true, right? Amazon makes they make buying from their site easy, which is another reason why, as you saw earlier, my sales continued to go up and up and up, even without me publishing any additional content, because Amazon makes the entire buying process effortless. What else? David says stars, the price. It says in stock. So yes, you see the stars, you see the price, you see that it's in stock. Michael says the number of reviews. There's 47 5-star reviews, right? So there's a lot of reasons why this one stands out. There's also a blurb. Take a look at this, right? The excitement of the first few chapters builds an incredible momentum. So you can actually get a quick review here, right? David asked a great question. David says, did the individual put that up or did Amazon? Amazon put this up, but using what I just showed a few within the Google Keyword Planner, you increase your chances of having your books rank higher on Google. Does that make sense? All right. Now, here's something that I really want to point out to you if you haven't noticed it already. How many people are familiar with SEO? How many people are familiar with SEO, search engine optimization? Give me a yes if you are. All right. Take a look at where this listing appears. Not only is it the first place on Google, but it's the first place, second position. And look at out of how many results. So out of 5 million results, you're able to get your book on the first page of Google, and this thing is in the second position. So we've got some folks that are saying that yes, they are. All right. Yes, they are familiar with SEO. So now, for those of you that are familiar with SEO, would this be hard? If you were doing it the normal way, outside of how I'm showing you, would this be hard or easy? It would be pretty hard to do it, right? But using what I show you, it becomes easier, right? And as Kathleen just said, it's priceless. I like how you position that, Kathleen. It's priceless because there's so many sales that are going to come from this placement. There's so much money that's going to be made from this. All right. Ramon, yes, you can determine the price. All right. Ramon just asked, do we determine the price? Yes, you determine the price, right? And Amazon pays you 70% of all of the sales. Right? So they keep 30, you keep 70%. Here's another example. Let's say there's a book titled Money, Wealth, Life Insurance on Amazon.com. Then you have someone else that goes over to Google. They type in Money, Wealth, Insurance. Take a look. This gets even better. So not only is this book positioned on the first page of Google, but it's the first page, first and second position out of 134 million results. Like you can buy that. As Kathleen, I think it was, who just said, this is extremely priceless. This is extremely valuable because that brings you sales. Not only are you going to get sales from people that just happen to find your book on Amazon, but you're also getting sales from people that come across it on Amazon. This is priceless. That's why I love and I really value that Google Keyword Planner, as well as some of the other tools that I use for research and conducting research and coming up with titles as well. All right. So now, here's another example, and then we'll jump into some other stuff. I've got a ton of stuff that I want to continue to show you. But let's say there's another book on Amazon, How to Retire Happy, Wild, and Free, and then you have someone who's over on Google and they type in the phrase How to Retire Free, right? Look at what happens. Out of 98 million results, this book comes up in the first and second position, first page of Google. And again, like our first example, which it stands out because it's got the stars. It's got like 4.5 stars, right? And it has 438 reviews. It's got the blurb. It's got everything else in there, right? So do you see how powerful that is? Right? Okay, so let's jump right in. So now, keeping in line with titles and the importance of titles, right? One of the things that I came up with, and before I jump into this, folks, when crafting your ebook and thinking about your title, I see a lot of disastrous titles that people put out there. All right, can I give you a tip really quickly that's outside of this? I want to give you a tip as it relates to titling your ebooks. Do you folks mind before I jump into the next part here? All right. Know your audience. It's extremely, extremely, extremely important to know who your book is geared to. Now, you're not going to know that 100%, but you have an idea, general idea. Is it more males or more females? More males or more females? And I say that to say because men and women, and ladies, you can back me up on this, please. All right, if you believe it's true. Only back me up if you believe it's true, which you'll find it is. But men and women, they buy differently on Amazon. They have different buying habits, all right? So there's 3 lines of defense. There's your title, there's your cover, and then there's your description. And you're going to put more effort into each of those based off of who your audience is. So for example, women, we'll start with women first. Women, when they buy from Amazon, they tend to buy in this order. First, they pay more attention to the title. And if the title resonates with them, then they move on, right? And all of this is happening in milliseconds on a subconscious level. It's not something where a ton of thought is being put into it. They look at the title. If the title resonates, then they gloss and they look at the cover. And then if the cover resonates with them, then they go into the description and then they go into stars and reviews and things like that, right? David, hopefully. So women, is that true? For the most part, they look at the title resonates with them, then it's the cover to the description, and then they look at the reviews and things like that. All right, we've got a ton of women that are on here. All right, awesome. So the women are saying yes. Title, cover, reviews. There you go. EJ Kathleen is saying yes. Thank you. Guys, on the other hand, right, our buying process is a little bit different. So we're a little bit more visual, which gets us into a ton of trouble sometimes, right? But we pay more attention to the cover first. So it's cover, visual, right? And then title, then we'll read the description, and then it's like stars and everything else, right? So Bobby hit it right on the head. Bobby said cover, right? So know who your audience is. Is that valuable or not? Because without that, right, if you're not putting thought into that, then you're just going to go in and just do things just winging it, okay? All right. And this is something that I've tested over and over and over and over again. That's a great question. Fred Gleek says, how do you know if this gender difference exists? I've tested it many, many different times, just knowing the audience, and I've gone in and I've actually put more weight into the actual title and crafting that to the point where I know that it would be more attractive to men and women. There's actually resources out there that let you know which words are more attractive to men versus women, just like with colors, right? You've got the color charts where we can say there's certain colors that are more attractive to men versus women, and you can use those colors in your covers, okay? All right, so there you go. That's a great question. Thank you, Fred. All right, so now, secret number 1 was use the Google Keyword Planner to find hot topics and to create titles. Now, because titles are so important, I want to share with you something else that I use that really boosts my sales like big time. All right. So I came up with these elements that I call my title enhancers, and these are literally elements that double and triple sales. When I first put these into place, we were leaving for a trip to the Caribbean, and we were going to be gone for about 10 days or so. And I had promised my wife that I wasn't going to take my computer, right? So I put these things into place, right? Um, right before we left. And when I got back, I noticed that my sales had really, for some of the titles that I had incorporated these title enhancers in, my sales had like doubled and tripled for that time period. And I was really fascinated by that. So I started to go in and incorporate more of these into other titles, and I started to craft my newer titles for books that I was publishing around these things, and I use them to this day religiously. Right. So after months of testing, I found that simply adding the following elements to my titles can dramatically increase sales. So again, title enhancers are elements that answer the questions that your ebook buyers are asking themselves in their head subconsciously. So now, here's a title enhancer, how to, that's a title enhancer. And let's say we have two books on Amazon. We have one on the left that's titled How to Stain Your Deck Like a Professional. And then we have one on the right that's titled Learn to Stain Your Deck, right? So how to stain your deck like a professional on the left and learn to stain your deck. Now, let's say we've got a gentleman by the name of Johnny, right? This is our prospect. We don't know Johnny, but Johnny has a need. He has a very urgent need. As a matter of fact, Johnny's wife has given him an ultimatum. He's been promising his wife for like the last 2 years. He's a procrastinator like me, right? When it comes to housework, that he's going to go in and stain the deck. So his wife says, Johnny, this is it's a nice weekend. It's like 75, 80 degrees outside. She says, either you're going to stain that deck today or you're going to sleep on the couch for the next 30 days. Johnny does not want to sleep on the couch. He's never stained the deck before, but he does know that if he goes over to Amazon, there's a great chance that he'll be able to find some information, quality information on how to stain a deck the right way. So he's sweating, right? He's never done this. He's mentally sweating. He's saying, how am I going to stain this deck? How am I going to stain this deck? How am I going to stain this deck? This is what he's thinking, right? On a subconscious level. He comes across these two books, How to Stain Your Deck Like a Professional on the left, and then he comes across another one, Learn to Stain Your Deck on the right. Which one do you think appeals to Johnny the most? Which one would really resonate to him? Number one over here, How to Stain Your Deck Like a Professional, or number two, Learn to Stain Your Deck? Put your questions into the questions box because I'm really interested in what you think would appeal to him the most. All right, so Steve says number one. We've got Ryan who says number two. All right, Shane says number one. Sam says number one. All right, AG says number one. Robert says number two. Russell says number one. All right, Lewis says number one. Kevin number one. Jay says number one. All right, we've got Moran says number two. All right, on the right says John. That would be number two. David says number one. Deborah says number one. John says number one. Diane says number one. Bobby says number one. All right, Jacob number one. Okay, if you said number one, give yourself a pat on the back because you're absolutely right. All right, because it's answering the questions that he's asking himself. Again, all of this is happening on a subconscious level. It's the thought process. So if you have someone who's wondering how to get this done, how am I going to stay in the deck, right? And then they come across a book that answers that question to a degree, how to stay in your deck like a professional, it's going to be a no-brainer for them. So here's some additional title enhancers that work really well as well. Quickest way to, right? So here's how you would use that as a title: 21 quickest ways to make money online, versus having a title like the Guide to Making Money on the Web. And these are really titles that I find people use before they come across my process of creating titles and writing these things out. Some people do really poorly with their Kindle sales because the titles are really poor, and then their covers are just as poor as well. But once you get this stuff, then you give yourself a huge advantage over everyone else. So the fastest way to get your nursing degree versus something like Health Quad's nursing guide, right? It's trying to sound really technical. Quick and easy ways to lose weight. right? Tips to the world's best kept tips to losing weight. So all of these answer questions, and more importantly, if you go in and you do like a Google search volume search, you'll see that phrases like how to, quickest way to, fastest way to, easy ways to, tips to, they get tons and tons and tons of searches. So I find that the way that people search on Google is very similar to the way they search on Amazon as well, because it's all conditioning, right? Google has conditioned us to search in a particular way, and we carry that conditioning and that search pattern over to Amazon. Does that make sense? Give me a big yes if that makes sense, and then I'm going to move on, right? Because I still have a ton of stuff to share with you. All right, thank you, Kathleen, Raymond, and everyone else that's putting in the yeses. All right, awesome. All right, so let's keep rocking and rolling. So now, another thing that I like to do is once I have my title enhancers, I like to also take these title enhancers, right, and mash them up, create what I call my mashups. And I'll take my topic, I'll take a title enhancer, I'll put them both together into my Google Keyword Planner. I'll hit search. Google is going to give us the search volume, again, for that phrase. So, for example, how to garden. Google tells us within the last 30 days, the global search volume was 40. And wait, before I get into this, folks, which of these columns do we want to pay attention to? Global or local? Global or local? It's going to be global because we're selling our ebooks globally, right? That's the beauty of selling on Amazon. Is you're not just selling within your city, your state, your province, or wherever it might be, right? You're selling local. You're selling globally. So globally, over the last 30 days, Google tells us that for this phrase, how to garden, there were 45.5 million global monthly searches. Is that within our desired search criteria? Yes or no? Is that within our desired search criteria? Yes or no? No, Kathleen. No, Michael. No, says Randy. No, says Shane. Yes, says Sam. All right. Russell says yes. Gaston says no. Pulley says yes. All right. No, says Louise. Kevin says no. Walker says no. Jay says no. All right. Moran says no. Abraham says no. Absolutely. All right. All right. So there you go. So now, luckily for us, Google gives us similar phrases that people are searching for, right? So now, take a look at these. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of these 4, which one would make the most ideal ebook topic to publish on Amazon, right? Number 1, how to make a garden, right? Which has 201,000 global monthly searches. 201,000 global monthly searches. How to design a garden, which has 550,000 global monthly searches. All right. How to build a raised garden bed, which has 12,100 global monthly searches. Okay. And last but not least, number 4, how to plant a garden, which has 301,000 global monthly searches. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, put your answers into the questions box. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one do you think would make the most ideal topic to publish an ebook around? And as you do that, I'm getting a little bit perched here, so I'm going to take a sip of my Zip Fizz. How many people are familiar with Zip Fizz? Zip Fizz is pretty cool. It's a B12 energy shot, right? All right, so a great question, Kathleen. I'll cover that in just a moment. So Diane says number 1, right? Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. Diane says number 3, how to build a raised garden bed. Ramon says number 3. Bobby says number 2. EJ says number 3. Sue says number 3. Kathleen says number 3. David says number 3. John says number 2. Autumn says number 3. That's a really cool name, Autumn. Deborah says number 3. Renee says number 3. All right. The threes are flying in. We've got Russell, Louise, we've got Jay, we've got Walker, we've got Abraham, we've got Shane, we've got Moran. Everyone's saying 3 here, right? Anna Moore, I hope I have your name pronounced correctly, says number 3 as well, right? Renee says number 3. So if you chose number 3, again, give yourself a pat on the back. If you chose number 3, give yourself a pat on the back, all right? Because that is the correct answer. Why? Why exactly? If you chose it, you should know why, right? So tell me why, because I want to make sure, the reason why I'm quizzing you guys is I want to make sure that you're getting this, right? I want to make sure, absolutely. Thank you, EJ. It's between 10 to 100,000. That's one reason. Why else? So that's 1. Thank you, Bobby. It's very specific, right? how to build a raised garden bed. So not only are you talking about how to build, not only are they searching for and will your ebook cover how to build a raised garden bed, right? Or how to build a garden bed, but it's a raised garden bed, right? It's a raised garden bed. So think about that. Now, it also, uh, Deborah says, because the title is very specific and the monthly searches are within the ideal search volume parameters. Correct. All right. It has our title enhancer how to, right, as do the others, but this is a plus. And also, what else? I mean, this thing just makes the perfect title, right? Isn't that like the perfect ebook title? How to build a raised garden bed? Think about that. How to build a raised garden bed, right? How would you go in and add on to that? How would you add on to that? Like we have our main title as being uh, um, how to build a raised garden bed. What type of a subtitle would you throw in there? What type of subtitle would you throw in there? So it could be something like how to build a raised garden bed in a weekend, right? It could be something like how to build a raised garden bed that your neighbors will envy, right? How to build a raised garden bed for Japanese tomatoes, or how to build a raised garden bed with inexpensive material, as Autumn just pointed out. That's good, right? So there's a few different ways that you can position this. How to build a raised garden bed for maximum production, says Kathleen. How to build a raised garden bed in any location, says Steve. All right, so that's a good one as well. All right, so do you see how this works? All right, so now let's jump right into this. This actually would make, don't tell my wife that I shared this with you because I shouldn't be giving this one away, but this actually would make a very ideal ebook to go in and publish. Everything, it's just, everything is 100% perfect, all right? Steve says in any location in the city, all right? So now let's continue to move on. So now I gave you secret number one, right? So secret number two is 3 ways to get your ebooks created super fast, even if you hate writing. So 3 ways to get your ebooks created super fast, even if you hate writing, or if you're like me and failed English 101 not once but twice because you're an overachiever, right? So again, even if I can do this, you can do this as well. So now, in my preferred order, there are 3 very simple ways to get content to sell, and like I said, I've used all of these and all of them are very easy to do, even if you're a newbie to all of this. So my favorite is to get someone else to write it for you. Again, you're leveraging the time, the skill, the talent, the love of someone else. And this is an option that I use a lot. Actually, as part of this system, I pay no more than like $125 to have people write content for me. And it's really good content. It's quality content, right? Content that you own 100% of the rights to. You can resell it as long and as often as you want. You can even go in and put your own name on it, or, right, you can use a pen name if you wanted to. So you can put your own name on it, or you can use a pen name if you wanted to. Um, in this program, I give you the only 3 sites that you should use when you're looking to have someone write your content. Plus I give you the exact wording to use when you're looking for someone. Okay. Now, the second option is to speak it yourself, then have it transcribed. So you can go in, you can speak it yourself, right? Especially if you're an expert in any one industry, or if you have something that you do very well that people can, they consistently ask you how to do, right? You can go in and speak it and then have it transcribed. So now the third way is you can write it yourself, right? So you can go in, you can write it yourself. This is not my favorite, but if you're a writer, this would be the perfect option for you. I have a ton of students that are in my Facebook group that are part of this program that love writing. They're authors by nature, right? That is not me. So I like to go in and I outsource. And again, we have a ton of people that outsource. We have a ton of people that speak it and then go in and have it transcribed. So I'm just curious, which one of these would most likely you do, right? Once you get up and running, would it be number 1, number 2, number 3? Which approach would you take? All right. Let's see. EJ says number 2. No, I'm sorry. EJ said number 3. Number 2 says Ramon. Kathleen says she would write it. Bobby says number 3. Steve says number 1. The answers are really flying in, so it's kind of hard for me to see what's coming in here. We have John says number 3, either 2 or 3, depending on my schedule, says Deborah. All right. So yeah, absolutely. That's pretty cool. So there's pretty much a variety of answers that are coming in. So about an equal amount of people saying, number 1, number 2, number 3 there. So there is absolutely no right or wrong with this. Okay. All right. So now let's continue to move on here. Let's continue. Now, folks, here's one thing. How many people, let me just take a look at the answers that came in really quickly. So number 1, number 2, number 3, write it yourself. Okay, great. All right. How many people would want to see how I go in and outsource this? Right? How many people want to see how I outsource it? Maybe I can just jump into one of my accounts really quickly and just show you how I do this really quickly. So we'll do that. So we got some yes. Let's see. If enough people say yes, then we'll do it. If not, then we'll just continue to move on. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. So yes. No, Michael says they use Fiverr. I really don't recommend using Fiverr, to be honest with you, Michael. You want to publish great content, quality content. Again, this is a long-term business model, something that you can make a ton of money with. So you want to make sure that you're publishing high quality stuff, right? High quality stuff, no PLR or anything like that. So just bear with me for a second as I log into my account. I don't want to share this stuff on screen. For some reason, I'm screwed. I don't think I have. I don't have my. I'm on a different computer right now, so I don't have my. I don't have my login for me. My login for the account that I use here. So I'm not going to be able to show you guys that. I wish I could, but I don't have it. Maybe I can do an additional training if you want for everyone that gets in. I'll do a training. We'll do like a 1-hour webinar or something like that. Would that be cool? Okay. All right. So now let's continue to move on. All right. So now secret number 3. How do you publish and launch your Kindle ebooks quickly and easily so that you can start making sales? Now, this process literally takes about 5 to 10 minutes to both create your Kindle publisher's account as well as add ebooks to it, because Amazon has made this really, really easy, very easy. Okay, very, very easy. As a matter of fact, something that I'll do is, because I couldn't show you this right away. For everyone that jumps into the system, I'll do a webinar immediately after this if you guys want to. I'll do something just for the people that get in. I'll show you how I go in. It's in the course, but if you want to stick around for a little bit longer after you get in, I'll go in. I'll answer some questions, and I'll log into my account. I have to switch computers though, but we can do that. All right. So now, literally takes about 5 to 10 minutes to both create your Kindle publisher's account as well as add ebooks to it, because Amazon has made this thing easy. Now, once you publish your book, it's now available on your platform, on the site. You can start getting sales in. Amazon will help you with that. And you start making money, right? So now, once you've got it published, you crank up the sales by repeating the process and publishing more ebooks, as I shared with you at the very beginning of this, right? I find that myself and for my students, on average, each ebook generates about $500 a month in sales. All right. You tweak the elements of your existing books. You can go in, you can change things like price points, your titles, your descriptions, your covers, if you wanted to. You don't have to, if you want to, right? If you want to, you can go back and easily do that. Now, I want to review really quickly. Here's everything that we covered today. I gave you secret number 1, how to come up with a best-selling book idea in 3 minutes, even if you've never done anything like this before. I also gave you secret number 2, right? 3 ways to get your ebooks created super fast, even if you dislike writing. I also gave you secret number 3, which is how to publish and launch your Kindle ebooks quickly and easily so that you can start making sales, right? So now, is anyone starting to feel excited? My wife says the only time she could tell when I'm excited is because I talk Kindle publishing, right? It's because when I talk about this stuff. Well, folks, here's the thing. When you get this the right way, okay, it becomes extremely exciting. As a matter of fact, I have an addiction that I want to share with you. right? My addiction is I literally get up several times in the middle of the night checking my cells because I'm still in disbelief. As long as I've been doing this, I'm like, wow, another cell. 3 o'clock in the morning, my wife thinks I'm going to the bathroom. I'm actually going to my computer checking on my cells because I'm getting cells all night long. And I'm like, yes, another cell. Yes, it's going to be extreme. I'm warning you, it's going to be extremely, extremely addictive. You're going to be logging into your account 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a day. I mean, we get cells as I'm on a plane, as I'm on vacation, that when I'm on a field trip with my children. It's really cool. Really cool. Steve's laughing at me, but Steve, you're gonna get that to that point. Trust me. Right now, I don't. Not only do I get excited because I'm doing well with this, but also because of my students, right? I think it's easy for one person to see success and then stay on an island and shit and keep that to themselves. But you get real value when you're able to share this with people. Do you agree? Yes or no? Right? True value comes from not only being the only person that's doing well, but to be able to have testimonials like this that come in, right? This is a guy who's a professor at Penn State, and he's never really made real money, even with his job, until he got involved with my program. Right? His name is Brian. Actually, he flew down to North Carolina. There's something really weird that happens, and it's really cool because I'm appreciative of this. But he flew down to North Carolina from Pennsylvania to take me out for dinner recently, right? As a way of saying thank you. And then I had another lady who flew from Germany to London to meet me at an event recently to say thank you, and she took me and my wife out for lunch, right? So people don't do that if you're not if your program is not getting them results, right? So he says I'm making $5,000 a month. His goal is to get to $10,000 per month within the next month. Here's another one of my students, Tracy Voister, who says, Ty, I sold 5 copies of my book this week. Now, what's really cool about this is she had just gotten started like 36 hours before sending this over. So immediately right out the gate, she's starting to see results because she took and applied what I give her in this program. That's the key, right? Applying it. Here's another one of my students. I'm really proud of this guy here. He's 66 years old from Perth, Australia. You can do this no matter where on the planet you live. He says, Ty, over the last year, I've continued to follow the Kindle cash flow system, and I'm now making $20,000 per month in sales. Super proud of this guy. He's really active in our Facebook group. So let me ask you, how many ebooks do you need? Using the system that I've created, right? Where I show you exactly how to go in and conduct your market research. I show you how to craft your titles. I show you how to write out your descriptions. I show you the price points and the outsourcing aspect to it. How many ebooks do you need, especially if each one averages about $500 a month, right? Plus 167 in leads. Why are the leads so important, folks? Why are the leads so important? Because you can go in, you can even sell them additional stuff, right? Okay, and if when you folks hang on, for everyone that gets into this, I'm going to log into one of my accounts where I show you how I'm really monetizing the leads outside of Amazon. Well, actually, you know what? How about I do that for everyone? I'll do that for everyone at the end of this webinar. All right. So let me just make a note to do that because I think you'll really be impressed by how much money I'm making off of the leads, just the leads, and how you can do that. So now, imagine having 5, 10, or 20 ebooks all bringing in monthly income, right? At an average of $500 each, right? This is a system where you do the work once, your ebooks sell for months and years to come. It's residual income that pays you over and over again. So what makes this different is that it continues to grow. As you saw here, one of our first checks was in the amount of $2,297. And then, again, I wasn't doing much here at this point. I didn't really get it. The light bulb went off here, where the next month I saw a check in the amount of $2,873.13. And then the next month in the amount of $4,462.53, right? And then the next month, right, I saw another check in the amount of $8,403.84. And then it continued to grow, right? It continued to grow from there, right? With leads as well. So let me ask you a question. How much money do you need to make a difference in your life? Is it an extra $500, an extra $1,000 a month, an extra $2,000 a month? Can you put that into the questions box here? I'm not going to read off your name. We'll keep that confidential, but I'm just curious because this helps me here to better be able to position everything for you. All right, so we've got some folks that are saying an extra 500 a month, an extra 5,000 a month, an extra 3,000, an extra 5K, an extra 5,000, an extra 3,000. All right, cool. That's pretty cool. All right, and all of those numbers are extremely achievable. Extremely. All right, I want to really stress that, especially when you're doing something like this. So how could this change your life? What would you do with that extra income that you just said you could benefit from? I want you to think about this. Think about yourself in the future, right? You're making that $5,000 a month. Because this is how it starts, folks. This is how it starts. You don't get anywhere unless you start to. So I want us all to do a quick exercise. Imagine right now, go back to being a kid. I was talking to my son Tyler the other day, who's 13. I told him, I said, I want you to never, ever lose the power of imagining. It's only when we become adults that we become foolish enough to stop imagining. I want you to go back to being a kid right now, right? And use the power of imagining. Imagine you're making that amount that you just typed in, the $5,000 or $3,000. It doesn't do anything for you to imagine. No one knows what you're doing. You could be, I don't care, just do it right now. And then imagine that you're getting that money consistently every single month. How would your life change? Would you use it to pay off your mortgage, right? As I mentioned at the beginning, I bought my mom a house and I paid cash for it. Her dream house, a really nice house. Right? Would you use it to buy a house if you don't currently have one? Buy your dream car. One of the things I was able to do with this was buy my wife a Mercedes-Benz, and I had a bow put on it. This was a few years ago, and the dealership delivered it, and I presented it to her as a surprise. Would you use it to pay off bills, get out of debt? We have no debt, none at all. Would you use it to travel the globe? As I said, we've got a pretty big family. There's 6 of us, 4 kids, and we travel extensively, right? More than people that have just 1 or 2 kids because of this program and what I'm sharing with you. So what would you do? All right. Now, let me ask you a question. For past hour, would you agree that it's been time well spent? Can you give me a yes or no? And again, I've been really honest with you, really transparent with you. I want you to be honest and transparent with me as well, because this helps me. All right. All right. Thank you, David. David says yes. Michael says yes. Kathleen says yes. Cindy says yes. Steve, Raymond. All right, you guys are too cool, too really, really cool. I love this. Raymond says yes. Diane says yes. EJ says yes. Sue, yes. Marty, yes. Bobby says yes. Excellent. John says yes. Autumn says yes. Michael, yes. The yeses are coming in, all right? If I didn't read off your name, it's not that I didn't see you. There's literally tons of them that are coming in. So obviously I can't cover everything that you need in a 90-minute presentation. But what I've done is, because Bill is a good friend of mine, I've created a special offer so that you can get everything that you need to know. And when I show you the price, you're going to say, well, why is it so cheap? And I'm going to answer that question as well. All right? You're going to say, why is it so cheap? Well, I've made it cheap. And I don't like using that word because the value is there, but I've made it really doable for everyone that's on this, because I've been extremely blessed. As I said at the beginning, I had this feeling of gratitude that came over me, and I wanted to be able to make sure that everyone gets in this, because I know that it's just as it's changed my life, it will change yours as well. And not only did it change my life, it wasn't singular for me, right? Because I took the time and I put this together and I do the diligence and the work, right? That changed my life, yes. But think about it. It's also affected my wife's life, right? It's also helped, it's affected my kids' life. Like, to be able to take them to Thailand and have them understand the language and to understand the culture, and to be able to come back and know little words like Sawadee Kap and Kapam Kap and things like that, to be able to speak Thai, right? It's affected their life. Think about it. At 9 years old, you're traveling the globe. It's affected my mom's life, right? She recently got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. So this is able to help me to help her pay for medications, and to be able to give me the time freedom to take her to her doctors and the chemo and things like that. So it's not just the money, folks. It's also the time freedom, all right? It's affected the thousands of students that I have in their lives, and everyone else that they've been able to directly impact, right? Their family members and wives and things like that. So I've created something that I think you will get some value out of. I know you'll get some. I'm going to be a little bit really confident. I know if you use this, you're going to get a ton of value. So, is it okay if I help you and share this? All right, all right. There you go. So now, one of the things that I know is that old habits die hard, and I don't want that to happen to you. All right. We're so conditioned to, we get excited, we get pumped up, and then once we go back to our day to day, what happens? That excitement dies down. All right. I had a chance to spend some time with Tony Robbins and his wife Sage and my wife Melody. We spent some time, and he said, "Ty, you know what? In order to have a really big impact on people's lives, you have to get them to realize that they are conditioned to not following through. That doesn't make them a good or bad person. It's just that we don't think that we're not people that follow through. So once we become aware of it, then we have no choice but to follow through. So right now, I want everyone that's watching this, that's listening, to realize that yes, I don't follow through on things. But now that you realize it, you have no choice but to follow through, because I've given you stuff that can impact you and that can impact other people and impact your families. All right. So what I've done is I've put together a program called Kindle Cashflow 2.0. And this is not my $20,000 program where typically I charge $20,000 to go in and help people implement this. People that have a lot of money, right? And then they also pay me 10% of their royalties. So I get a lot of these that come in because people see the value in being able to publish to Amazon. So I get a lot of people that pay me $20,000 and 10% of their royalties. This is not what I'm going to charge you. Right? What I've done is I've distilled everything down. I've put it into a program, just as you saw here on this webinar, where you get instant access to the online program. You get to see what I do, why I did it, and the results that I get as a result of me doing it. So everything that you're going to get in this program includes the setup, which is a $997 value. This covers setting up your account, how to get started quickly, what not to do so that you don't get banned, right? Because if you don't do this stuff the right way, you're going to jeopardize your Amazon Kindle publishing account, right? Think about it. If I'm making $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a month, am I going to do anything to jeopardize it? Not at all. That's why I told you not to publish PLR material. That's why I told you not to use Fiverr, right? So you're also going to get the Kindling for Profits module, which is a $1,497 value. This module covers finding the right niche and readers, niches that sell and readers that buy. You don't want to just go out and publish stuff, because then that leads to frustration and wasted time. Do it in the way that I'm showing you in this program, and you'll hit home runs right out the park, okay? And this module, the Biomagnet module, which is a $2,997 value, I'll show you the critical must-have elements that will make your ebook sell, including things like covers, right? How to format your covers. I didn't have time to talk about that, but your covers, as I talked about earlier, are your second line of defense. This is the second most important thing that will determine how well your ebooks sell. So you don't want to miss this portion of my program here. I talk about price points, right? Price points have a lot to do with how much profit you're going to make, not sales. Remember, we want the money that we're going to take and we're going to be able to save and invest and travel with and just have a luxurious lifestyle with, right? I also talk about descriptions, how to craft your descriptions the right way so that they're not bland, so that they pull in your readers, right? So that they put, not your readers, but your prospects, so that they pull in sales for you. All of this stuff works hand in hand. And if you get one element wrong, you're screwed. I also talk about how to get reviews, and we're not talking about Fiverr reviews. I'm talking about authentic reviews, right? So in the next module, I give you the KDP Cast Extraction module, which is a $3,500 value. In this module, I talk about the secret ways to use the Kindle Direct Publishing platform to make more money than most people ever will, simply because they don't know what it is that you know. All right. So there's a big difference between the person that publishes content on Amazon going in blindly and the person that becomes a student of mine that knows what to do, that's not wasting time, that's not wasting money. So the total value of everything that you get here is $8,991. Now, I'm going to give the first 10 people a couple of fast action bonuses as well, because I want to all right, give you ways to be successful at this. You're going to get fast action bonus number 1, which I call the Google Kindle Crunch. This is an entire mini course on its own. All right, it's an entire mini course on its own. It's going to cover how to get your ebooks listed in Google. This is where like 30% of my sales come from. So this will increase your sales big time. This is a $2,000 value. You're also going to get fast action bonus number 2, which is the money multiplicity bonus. This covers how to publish the same content that you'll be publishing to Amazon, also to other platforms as well. All right. You'll also get your own virtual assistant. And this is a real live individual that can help you with everything from researching topics to coming up with title ideas to writing out your descriptions to communicating with your writer or anything else that you can think of, including working in some of your other businesses. So this is a person that you'll be able to talk to, you'll be able to communicate with. This individual cost me $600. You're going to get this person for 40 hours to help you with everything that you need. Okay. So again, only the first 10 people are going to get those bonuses. Now, something that I'm super proud of is you're also going to get access to my private Facebook group. We have just over about 1,300 people that are in this group, all students of mine, all that have purchased this program, all that are seeing different levels of success. There's some that are just coming in as you are. There's some people that are making a couple of $100s a month or a day. And then there's people that are making thousands of dollars a week. Right? So you'll be able to come into this program and join this group and you're never left alone. One of my biggest pet peeves about buying a program is that once you buy the program, for most people, you're left alone. I never want any one of my students to feel like that. So anytime you have a question, you'll be able to come in here, you'll get your opportunity to ask questions, you'll get updates, you'll get helps, you'll get to help, you'll get to share your ideas, you get to brainstorm, right? We have an entire community here. It's myself, I've got other coaches in here, and then all of the students that are literally around the planet, all right? One of the ways to be successful is to find successful people and surround yourself with those individuals. That's what that group does. Now, let me ask you a really serious question here. If you got to the point where, like Darren DeVry, one of my top students here, you're making $20,000 a month, would it make sense to pay $5,000 a month for something like this? Then every sale after that is just pure profit, right? It's pure profit. Now, luckily for you, that's not what you're going to pay. And again, it's going to be the first 10 people. Usually when I give this URL, there's like a mad rush. There's a stampede. So I'm preparing you now. When I give you this URL, type it into your browser as fast as possible so that you can go in and get your order in so that you can be one of the first 10. Right? Now, with everything that you get, you can see why this program would be a good deal at $5,000. Normally it's $497, but again, I went really cheap with it. You're going to say, Ty, why are you going this cheap? Right? Because you're watching this event, you can get in right now for just $997 if you're one of the first 10 people to join right now. Again, I went super cheap with it. You're probably wondering, why is it so cheap? Again, it's because I've been really blessed with this. I make a ton of money online, and I want to give back to other people that are going to do something with this program. I'm going to give you the URL right now. I'll type it into the questions box. Yes, Kathleen, the Facebook group is for everyone that gets in. The other bonuses are only fast action bonuses. So that URL is 30dayprofits.com, www.30dayprofits.com. Here's what I want to do. Because we have so many people that are going in to get their orders in right now, and the bonuses, the fast action bonuses, are only for the first 10, I want you to put in I'm in. So put the words I'm in into the questions box once you have processed your order. All right, I'm in, because I want to make sure that you get those bonuses. Fred is in. Fred Gleek says I'm in. All right, good to have you in, Fred. Fred is number 1. Fred is super fast there. Now here's the thing. Fred is someone that, Fred, I wish I could bring you on. I would love to get your input on some things, because I know that you've got a ton of value and you've been around the block forever. I can unmute you. I'm going to unmute Fred, because I want you to hear from someone who, Fred has made millions and millions and millions of dollars. I'm going to unmute him because I want to get some, and this is totally off the cuff. It's totally scripted. I didn't even know he was going to be here. Last time I spoke to him was in San Diego last year this time. So I'm going to unmute him. And I want to just hear why he's jumping in. And Sandy says she's in. Sandy's number 2. So again, put in the words "I'm in" as you get your order in, please, because I want to save spots for people that are serious. Only put the words "I'm in" once you have processed your order. So let me find Fred really quickly, and then I'm gonna go in and unmute you. And there he goes right here. So let's see. Let's see if I could do this here. Mute. Let's see. Fred, you should be. Oh, there you go. I can hear you now. Can everyone hear Fred? Give me a big yes if they can hear you.
I'm talking.
I hear you. I hear you here. I want to make sure everyone else can hear. Can everyone hear Fred here on the other end?
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Awesome. Steve says yes. Raymond says yes. All right, Fred. So I know this might seem really weird, but I had no clue that you were going to be on this presentation. Like I said, the first time, last time we met was in San Diego. The first time I met Fred was, wow, I want to say maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago. He was doing an event. This was when I first got into internet marketing. He was doing an event at the Learning Annex in New York.
Long time ago, buddy.
Super long time ago. And I had signed up for it. And it was one of the best things that I did. I took a gamble with the money. I didn't have much money at the time. I signed up for it, and I got a ton of information. So, Fred, man, I'm honored to have you here.
Oh, well, I'm honored to be here, man. I've followed what you've done. I remember I saw version 1 of this program. And, I mean, to me, I'm always willing to spend money when it is, it's something that I feel is worthwhile. And I mean, I've been doing this for a long time. I spent a lot of money on information products, Ty, and I wouldn't do this just because you're a buddy. And we didn't set this up, by the way. I'm actually having a hard time processing my order for some reason. It's giving me a decline, but it's something that I'm doing because I know who Ty is. I know how good he is at what he does. He's made Amazon Kindle his specialty. He's niched this out, and he knows what he's talking about. And let me tell you, I'm looking at this right now at $997. I make one computation in my head, Ty, and that is if I give you $997, can I get this money back within the next 2, 3, maximum 4 months? And my answer is clearly yes. Therefore, it's a no-brainer for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why you're successful, because it's just there's people that are successful that think in a different way, right? Where you're not looking at it as an expense. You're looking at it as something that's going to generate income. All right. We just got Marty that's in as well. Marty says, I'm in. Good to have you in, Marty. So I really appreciate that, Fred. If there was one thing, because I know you've published a ton of content, right? I've purchased a lot of his stuff over the years. I'm probably just getting my own money back because I spent thousands of dollars. Not I'm thinking about it. But if there was one thing that you would tell people about content publishing, right? If you had to share that one thing, what would it be?
What I would say is I think that most people, and this is what you talked about earlier about going between 10,000 and 100,000 searches, most people try and go too wide. Like they go to the weight loss market or the make money market. And instead of going wide, get tighter in your niching so that you have an easier time selling to people. Because when you try to sell to everyone, you sell to no one. So tighten the niche, do what you say. Searches between 10,000, 10,000 and 100,000 makes total sense.
Okay, appreciate that. Hey, Fred, I really, really appreciate you coming on, and this was great. This is really awesome.
And by the way, for anyone who's trying to order, if it's rejecting your credit card, make sure and try again, which is my situation right now, Tom.
Okay, all right, got it. If anyone is trying to, thank you again, Fred. If anyone is trying to get in and you're having an issue, just let me know, all right? I just posted the URL. Okay, Marty says PayPal works fine, so you can use PayPal if you guys want as well. We have Marty is in, Fred is in, Susan is in, James is in, Kim is in. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that are in so far. So half of the slots are already taken. So if you're gonna get in, go in, do it now, place your order. We still have a lot of content to continue publishing. I'm thinking about Amazon publishing even when I'm not publishing. And I'm going to log into my Infusionsoft account because I want to show you what I do with these leads and how many leads I have as of today, right? And how I continue to generate income outside of PayPal using some of these things. So again, $9.97, super inexpensive right now, considering the value that you're going to get, considering the long-term amount of income that you can generate from this thing. 30dayprofits.com is the website to go in and get in at. Right? If you're going to use PayPal, you can also use this PayPal credit option, right? If you're in the US, this only works if you're in the US. If you're going to pay by PayPal using funds or your traditional bank account, that's fine. If you want to use PayPal credit, there is a slight change that you have to make when you go over to the payments method. You want to hit change there and then select PayPal credit, all right, so that you use the PayPal credit funds. This signing up for PayPal credit takes about 60 seconds, right? And what this is it gives you the ability to make no payments, interest-free for 6 whole months. In 6 months, folks, you don't have to pay this back if you use the PayPal credit option. And that gives you more than enough time to go in and put this program in place and to start generating funds with it, all right? So it gives you a ton of time to do that. So now, we still have more people that are coming in, all right? It looks like I just got, who is this? Lewis, all right? That's in as well, all right? So good to have you in. All right, so here's a testimonial from one of my students here. He says, this has been my best month so far with 258 sales to date with only 3 titles. I'm very happy with the progress considering my circumstances. He went through like a bankruptcy, had a recession issue, and he says, I just wanted to say thank you again. I can see the end of a tunnel. All right. I sent him an email the day that he sent this to me asking if I could use his testimonial, right, in my presentation. He sent me an email back the next day. He says, yes, you can use my testimonial, but you'll be happy to know that I'm now up to 336 sales as we speak. I'm happy with that. I was hoping for 200 sales this month. I'm very happy. And again, I'm going to try for 1,000 sales a month. Now, imagine if he's selling his ebooks at $10 each. That's $10,000 a month, right? With a $997 investment, folks. All right, this is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. We have a ton of people that are still on this thing. We've got orders that are still coming in. And I need to be fair to everyone. So once you put your order in, place in the words I'm in into the questions box so I'll know that you're in. Here's another testimonial that I got from Darren. This was just a couple of months ago. We were on Skype and he sent this to me. I like to communicate with my students via Skype, email. Sometimes we'll talk on the phone, Facebook Messenger, right? Because again, I never want you to be left alone. So anytime you have a question, I'm right there. So he says, Ty, over the last year, I've continued to follow the Kindle cash flow system, and I'm now doing $20,000 per month in sales, right? Rocking it. If all this did, think about this. If all this did was, okay, and Fred, I did see your message, perfect. If all this did was finally allow you to generate a consistent hands-free passive income every month, would it be worth it? Think about that. Would it be worth it? If all this did was to allow you, okay, to generate a consistent passive hands-free income stream. That's what it did for me, right? Instead of me trying things that didn't work, I found a system that worked and I ran with it. Now, if all this did was give you the kick in the butt to finally get you moving and making money, would it be worth it? For me, remember I talked about having shiny object syndrome and just being all over the place? This was the thing that got me focused. When you get to the point where you focus on those 1 or 2 things, right, until you get those things to generate income, then you can move to the next thing. But maintaining that focus is extremely, extremely important, folks. Right? So Diane says she is in. Good to have you as well, Diane. All right, so now it looks like we've got about 3 slots left, folks. So if you want to get in, you need to go in and do that quickly. All right. Now, if all this did was give you the 2 or 3 ebooks that each brought in $500 per month to pay a bill or save, would it be worth it? And then you can continue to publish. I mean, there's no limit as to how many ebooks you can publish, right? And if you get in, folks, and I don't read your name off right now, I'm not ignoring you. I just want to maintain the momentum here, right? The other thing is this comes with a 100% risk-free guarantee. So if you're not completely 100% satisfied, you simply ask for your money back. I don't need the money. I'll take the money, but I don't need the money. All right? I want you to get results because you getting results is what really matters for me. That helps me out more, all right? Because it helps the community to grow. Now, the other thing is It's an entire online system, so you get access to everything here. You get access to the entire system. Again, you get to see what I do. You get to look over my shoulders. You get to see the results that I get. So you get to follow along in a paint by numbers fashion. Right now, here's everything that you're going to get. You're going to get the setup, okay, which is a $997 value. This covers setting up your account, how to get started quickly, what not to do so that you don't get banned. Again, this is very important, folks. You want to do this the right way so that you're not putting your account in jeopardy. You don't want to get to the point where, like, with the amount of income that I'm generating with this thing every month, there's nothing, no shortcut that I would ever take to jeopardize this. And I want you to do the same thing. That's why this program is different from everything else that you might see out there on Kindle Publishing, because I truly care not just about your results, but your long-term results, right? I'm a big fan of karma. I'm not going to put out any types of crazy karma because I don't want it to come back to me. All right, so now you'll also get the second module, which is the Kindling for Profits module, right? Which is a $1,497 value. This covers finding the right niche and readers, niches that sell and readers that buy. Niches that sell and readers that buy. Very important. Anytime you create any type of a business, anytime you publish anything, you want to do your due diligence. You want to make sure that you're going out there and you're finding out if the audience is available, and not only if they're available, right? But are they raising their hands by voting with their wallets? Okay, super important. Doesn't matter if there's a huge market out there, but are they a buying market? You could have a huge market and they're all 7-year-olds. They're not going to buy, right? There's an obstacle right there. They've got to persuade their parent to go in and pull out the credit card. And sometimes the parents aren't as invested, right, as the child might be. So again, there's a ton of markets out there, but you want to make sure that they're the right markets. And I show you how to do that, right? The right niches. You'll also get the biomagnet module, which is a $2,997 value. This covers all of the critical must-have elements that will make your ebook sell. We talk about things like the covers, right, and how to structure those in the right way. Price points, which price points work the best. Descriptions, right, how to write out your descriptions so they actually draw your prospects in, they draw buyers in, to the point where it's like a magnet. You've got this huge magnet that are just pulling sales in, right? And then how to get reviews as well, not Fiverr reviews. Very important. We're not getting these reviews off of Fiverr, right? We're doing all of this on the up and up. You'll also get the KDP Cash Extraction module, which is a $3,500 value. This covers all of the secret ways to use the Kindle Direct Publishing platform to make more money than most people ever will. Think about it. Just on this presentation, you got more nuggets of how to do it the right way than you get in some of these programs that cost $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. I want you to really think about that. All right. So now imagine everything else that you get behind the scenes and being able to take that and really do well with it. So the total value of everything that you see here is $8,991. You're also going to get the fast action bonuses. Now, these are almost gone because I almost lost count. I've got to go through and count all of these up again. And I'm sure there's more people. I haven't looked at the questions box in a moment, but I'm sure there's more people that are getting in. These fast action bonuses are only for the people that have already gotten in, like Fred and Susan and James and Kim and the first 10 people that get in. So hopefully I'll be able to call your name off in just a few more minutes once I'm done reading these off. So fast action bonus number 1, right? You're going to get the Google Kindle Crunch. This covers getting your ebook listed in Google and how to do that. This will increase your sales big time. It's actually where like 30% of my sales come from. So it's a $30,000 a month, then 10% come from this component alone because you're using the massive reach of both Google and Amazon to help you to generate even more sales. This is a $1,997 value. You'll also get the Money Multiplicity bonus, right? This covers how to take the same content that you're publishing to Amazon and also publish it to other platforms so that you triple your ebook's exposure, right? This is a $997 value. You're also going to get your own virtual assistant. Now, this is someone that is a very live person, right? This is a live person that will help you with different things such as researching topics, coming up with your title ideas, writing out your descriptions, communicating with your writer, or anything else that you can think of, including working on some of your other businesses. Now, again, this is only going to go out to the first 10 people because this bonus actually cost me real money. This is a $600 value here. You're going to get this individual for 40 hours. You can go in right now and go to 30dayprofits.com. Don't wait for me to finish talking, folks, because I'm pretty sure that we've got a ton of additional people that are in already. And once I call out those names, that 10-person cutoff is going to come to a standstill. All right, you're also going to get access to our private Facebook group where you get to ask questions, you get to get updates, you get to share ideas, you get to brainstorm, you get to get help, right? You get to interact with the community, which is a beautiful thing because you're never left alone. Doesn't matter when you have a question, doesn't matter at what step of this process you're at, right? You always get to get help. So you're never left alone. All right. So normally, as I said before, if this thing sells for $5,000, as a matter of fact, I've got a friend of mine, Armin Morin, who recently did an event, and at his event, I sold this program for $4,997. Right? That's what I normally sell it for. But because you're watching this presentation, you're not going to pay that amount. You're going to get in at a very inexpensive price of just $997. Again, if you're one of the first 10, after this, all right, after the first 10, it goes back up to the $4,997. So that's another reason why you want to get in right now. Right, so again, visit 30dayprofits.com. You can go in and place your order using your Visa, your MasterCard, your American Express, your Discover. If you don't have funds to pay using your credit card right now, you can go in and you can use PayPal credit if you want to. Or you can use your funds that you may have on an existing PayPal account. Either way, you can use PayPal. All right. Now, if you're going to there's some people that have asked for a 2-payment option. I do have that available, but you can't use PayPal for the 2-payment option. If you want to make 2 payments, one of $549 now and one of $549 30 days from now, you can go to yourkindlekit.com. You need to use a major credit card to sign up for the 2-payment option. All right. If you want to make 1 payment, or if you want to use PayPal, you simply go to 30dayprofits.com. Again, 30dayprofits.com. 2 payments is going to be yourkindlekit.com. Now, let me put both of these URLs into the questions box. And I don't know if Bill is still on, but Bill, if you have anything that you want to come in and chime in on, that's fine. We still have a good amount that I want to share with you. I'm going to log into my Infusionsoft account because I want to show you folks how many leads I've generated, and maybe I should do that now, and then we'll continue with it. All right. All right, Kathleen is in. All right, good to have you in, Kathleen. All right, so I think that leaves us with 2 more slots now. If my, well, wait, probably not. It looks like we've got who else is this? David Beachley is in. So let me just get some order to this. So I've got David. We've got Kathleen. That's in. Deborah Warrior is in. Deborah, I hope I'm not screwing up your name here. All right, we have, let's see. So if you're not in already, folks, you want to go in and do so right now. Type in your name. Type in I'm in. Kathleen, did you already, what's your phone number, Kathleen? I'll have someone give you a call to help you out. It says you're already a member. We'll have someone give you a call immediately after this presentation, and then they'll be able to help you out there if you can't get in. All right, maybe I'll give you a call, actually, Kathleen. All right, so let's see. Let me just write your name here. And folks, if you're not already in, you want to get in right now as I'm jotting down Kathleen's number because we just have a few spots left. I'm now going to log into my Infusionsoft. I'm going to show you guys the amount of leads and what I've been able to do with this. So, okay, Kathleen, I have your number here. I will give you a call after this. All right. Now, at this point, you have 2 choices, folks. All right. Option number 1 is do nothing and not take this leap of faith, right? So do nothing and not take this leap of faith. Or you have option number 2, which is pony up the small, tiny investment compared to all of the value and just give it a shot, right? Just give it a shot. You really have nothing to lose at that point. So you can get in, give it a shot. Now, here's my 2-part crazy guarantee, my 3-part crazy guarantee, because I actually added an additional part to this right before I jumped on this webinar, because again, I wanted to give you guys no excuses, no barriers, right? So I lowered the price point for you big time so that everyone could get in. I made a 2-payment option available, again, so that everyone could get in. And then I'm also giving you this 2-part crazy guarantee so that everyone could get in. So part 1 is research. If you can't find a hot topic to create your first ebook around, I will personally help you to get started. So if you can't find a hot topic to publish your first ebook around, I will help you, right, to get started. That's part 1 there. Part 2 to my 3-part crazy guarantee is outsourcing. If you can't find someone to write your ebook for you, I will give you access to one of my best writers who will write your first ebook for under $150, right? Part 3 to my 3-part crazy guarantee is sales. If after 60 days you're not making at least $500 per ebook, I will have one of my top coaches jump on a call with you to help kickstart your sales. All right. So I'm going to take a quick drink really quickly, and then we're going to come back. I'm going to log into my Infusionsoft account, and I'm going to show you guys how I've been able to monetize the leads in addition to Amazon.
Folks, this is really outstanding training. Ty's been doing this stuff for a long, long time, and he's got a proven track record that's just second to none.
All right. Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate that. I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate that. Also, folks, here's our support email address, right? So not only do you get our 60-day money-back guarantee, but here's our support email address if you ever have any questions. Again, you can get started right now by going to 30dayprofits.com, 30dayprofits.com. And with everything that you get here, you can see the value, normally $497 for the general public, but because you're watching this event. Now, think about this. Here's something to give you some thought, right? With other investment opportunities, it can take 3 to 5 years to get your initial investment back. But with something like this, right, you can get 5 times that back with the first couple of ebooks that you publish. Again, the URL is 30dayprofits.com. And before I go into this, I'm going to log into my Infusionsoft account. Let me ask you folks that are on a quick question, and we have a ton of people that are on this thing. Why do we care about the leads that we can get from Amazon? Why is that important? Now, normally Amazon doesn't give you the leads, but with the method that I teach you, you can get the leads. Kathleen, that was actually a mistake. All right, so let me just log into my, where is it at? So I'm going to log into my Infusionsoft here, and Kathleen says the reason why you want the leads is because further sales can be can mean big bucks. Absolutely, absolutely. That's exactly it. So let me just see if I can remember my password here. I wasn't able to remember it for. All right, perfect. Here we go.
I do know a lady who writes in the mystery niche, Ty.
Yep.
Who built the mailing list around her books, like what you're talking about here. And it's just astronomical, the amount of money she's making from her book publishing business.
Yeah, it's huge. When you do some of this stuff in the right way, it can be insane. So in this one account here, right, this is for a few niches. I've got over 100,000 contacts, right? So in this niche here, just this month alone, 37,947 in sales, right? Today so far, 1,956,053 cents. All right, so do you see the power in being able to leverage And these are from affiliate sales, folks. This is not even from Amazon. So this is in addition to what you can generate from Amazon, right? So that's what you can do with that when you start to build that list. And now some other cool things that you can do with the list as well is you can also tell them about upcoming books that are coming up, right? You can sell books to them outside of Amazon, which is something that I do a lot. So I'll cut out Amazon once you start to get this list, and you can sell them directly. You can go to direct and sell them, right? So there's a lot that you can do. You can sell affiliate products, right? So if Bill has a product, I could say, hey, Bill, let me promote your product, and Bill would give me a commission off of that. So there's a lot that you can do. Does everyone get that? And Diane is asking, are leads the same as an email list? Yes, right? Looks like Bill covered that. Now, here's the tell of two people, folks. There's the individual on the left, Timid Tommy, right? Timid Tommy is the pessimistic, optimistic, not optimistic, but he's the pessimistic, cynical person who always sees the glass as half empty. He's the person who says, I can't do it. Well, maybe Bill can do it. Maybe Ty can do it. Maybe Fred could do it. Kathleen could do it, but I can't do it. Right? He's the person who always doubts himself. So as a result, he sees little results. And then on the right, you have a gentleman who, who looks like Superman here. It's Brave Bob. And Brave Bob is the person who, have you ever seen these individuals who it looks like, everything that they touch turns to gold? So everything that they touch turns to gold. And that's because they're really optimistic. They see the glass as half full. They're willing to try. They're willing to bet on themselves, right? So now, let me ask you a question. What is your goal? Like, what is your ultimate goal? Is it to make a little money this year or a lot of money this year? Honestly, what is your ultimate goal? And if so, if it's to make a lot of money this year, I'm guessing that you would be open to the best ways possible to accelerate that, right? And that's what I'm giving you here. That's what I'm giving you here. I'm giving you a system that will allow you to go in and set it up in ways that will allow you to live a certain lifestyle and to be able to afford it, right? And this is one of the best ways to be able to unlock that there, right? So now, let me show you what to do next. Once you go to 30dayprofits.com, you're going to see a screen that looks like this. Right, you're going to see a order form, a pre-order form. If you want to pay using your Visa, your MasterCard, your American Express, or your Discover, you can go in and hit one of these. And then if you want to pay using PayPal, you can check one of these here, right? And then, again, you'll get access to everything. And here's everything that you'll get one more time because I have a few people who are asking about this. Now, before I cover this, let me just make sure that we still have slots. We've got Fred. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got Fred that's in. Susan is in. James is in. Kim is in. Martin is in. David is in. Kathleen is in. Deborah's in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There was someone else. David. All right. So there's, Kathleen, Fred, Susan, James, Kim, Martin, David, Catherine, and Deborah. All right, there's a Kathleen named Catherine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have one slot left. So who's going to be the next person to really take action? I heard something from oh man, I can't remember who I heard it from. But it was what's the guy from The Secret? The guy looks like Danny DeVito a little bit. He said, money loves speed. He says, we often will recognize a good opportunity, but we allow ourselves to talk ourselves out of it. And then down the line, we end up kicking ourselves for it. Right? So by that money loves speed, he means when you see a good opportunity, listen to your gut and go for it. Right? When you see a good opportunity, listen to your gut and go for it. All right? Go for it. So now, you'll get the setup, which is a $997 value. We cover setting up your account, how to get started quickly, what not to do so that you don't get banned. You'll also get the Kindling for Profits module, which is a $1,497 value. In this module, I cover finding the right niche and readers, niches that sell, and readers that buy. You'll also get the Buyer Magnet module, which is a $2,997 value. And in this module, you'll get the critical must-have elements that will make your ebook sell. We talk about things like covers, right? Price points, descriptions, reviews, and how to to put that all together. Steve says, I am in. We got you, Steve. All right, Steve Bryant, I just saw your order come in. So Steve is number 10. All right, good to have you. Steve kept typing it in. I'm in. I didn't miss you, Steve. All right, Diane, I must have missed Diane. So we do, Diane, I didn't add you. So Diane is actually number 11. So here's the thing. Here's what we're going to do, because it looks like, well, let me take a quick poll here. Is there anyone that is considering getting in but just is on the fence? If you're on the fence right now, if you have a question for me that you want me to cover, why are you not in yet? All right, answer that question for me. Why are you not yet in? All right, so we've got, all right, so Michael says that he signed up a while back. He paid $5 grand for it. Yeah, Michael, that's how these things go sometimes. So, again, that's the URL. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to because I know that there's a few people, at least I think I saw a few people asking if there was going to be a replay. And typically what happens is when someone wants us to replay, they want to get in, and this is not fair because we have 11 people that are in right now, right? Diane had already. Diane is a previous student, so she says she was already in. So technically, it's 10 people. So I'm gonna, if you're watching the replay, I'm going to allow another 10 people in, right, to get in on the replay. So now after that, that will be a total of 20 people, and that's it, right? After that, you're going to see a big sold out sign when you hit this website. When you go to 30dayprofits.com, it's going to say sold out, closed out. It'll be red. You won't be able to miss it, right? But for right now, up until the replay, oh, Diane says she signed up 15 minutes ago. Okay, gotcha. You can get in. So from now up until the replay, up until we hit another 10 people, which judging by right now, the live webinar, people have been signing up left and right. You don't have much time. So again, 30dayprofits.com, you can get in for one payment of $9.97, or you can go to yourkindlekit.com and get in for two payments of $5.49, one payment of $5.49 right now, and then another payment of $5.49 in 30 days from now. Okay, 30 days from now. So now, here's what I want to do. Here's one of my students, Brian, again, $5,000 a month, right? This paid for, even if he paid the normal $5,000 price, this paid for it already, right? This already paid for it. Okay? You guys are getting it. So in the first month, because he's at $5,000 a month, maybe I should do a special call with him on, because he's doing some really cool stuff too with Create Space. Maybe I should do a bonus call with him for people that get in right now. How many people would like that? Right? So here's the thing. And now here, for everyone that is in already, I want to do another call really quickly immediately after this. I'm going to do a 15-minute call. We'll go in. I'll show you how I find freelancers. All right, for everyone, if you're still on, I know a lot of people might have gotten off, but if you're still on, immediately after this, we'll do a Zoom. How about that? For people that are already in, right, send me your email address right now. Type it into the questions box, because I'm gonna invite you to a Zoom invite 15 minutes after I close this out, and I'm gonna go in. I'll share my screen just like I'm doing right now. And I'm going to download these email addresses, and I'll invite you to a Zoom. All right, so I got you, Martin. I got you, Deborah, Kathleen, Diane. Only if you've paid. All right, so Steve, I've got you, David, I've got you. All right, so only the people that have paid. I want you to give me your email address right now. And then we're going to do that. So immediately after I jump in. So if you're not in already, now's your time to get in. So go in, process your order right now, get in, and then put your email address in there so I can invite you. Let me download these emails right now as well, and then I'll download them once I close this. So, so emails of buyers, boom. So can you see that on your end, Bill, as well, those email addresses?
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right. So those are the people that got in, and Fred Gleek got in as well. So we have those people that are in. That just gives you a heads up as to who's in as well. So here's one of my students here. This is I'm really this lady right here is a really cool student, Linda Allen, right? So Linda got involved with this program last year. She says, "I'm so happy," and this is in the Facebook group. So you're gonna be able to come into the Facebook group and you'll be able to interact with Linda and some of the other folks that are in there, like Doc Berry and Deborah Jeffers. So Linda says, "Let me pre-frame this." So Linda had a problem, right, with her health, or I think it was one of her children to be more exact, and she had to stop publishing Kindle books because she wanted to go in and tend to her child, which makes sense, right? It's only natural. So take a look at this. She says, "I'm so happy about this group. I'm in another group, and if I have questions or I can answer questions for others, because in this Facebook group, the group that you're now a part of, if you're a buyer or once you become a buyer, you'll be part of this group. You can go in, you can ask questions, and you can also share your feedback." Um, I've been writing Kindle books for about a year now. I got Ty's program last year, and I'm so glad that I did. I made several $1,000s last year, and that's after stopping writing after several months. Because again, as I said, she had a health scare, right? So she had to stop, and she had to divert her attention to making sure that her health got back on track. Now, while she stopped, she still was making money. Like her account was still generating income. Put that in perspective, folks. How many jobs, how many other businesses or jobs can you work where you stop for months at a time and you're still generating income? That's why I love this stuff. All right. So, and now look at everyone that's chiming in, right? Hey, Linda, this is exactly why I wanted to join Ty's group. It's this attitude of helping and sharing that will add to the success of us all. The more value we give to others, the greater the return to ourselves, right? Very encouraging, Linda. Thank you so much for this inspiring post, right? I've done nothing yet, but still hold to the belief that hope can be very rewarding. So now you've got, like I said, you've got people that are really crushing it, like Linda, Doc Berry here, and then you've got people that are just starting out, like Deborah. So you're surrounded by your peers here. Get in right now by going to 30dayprofits.com. Here's another testimonial from Tracy Voister. She says, "Good morning, Ty. My ebook has sold 5 copies this week, and she just got started 36 hours prior to sending this message to me." Right? Again, Darren DeVry, who's over in Perth, Australia, $20,000 a month. All right. Now, as I said, I got a chance to meet Tony Robbins, and one of the things that he said was, he says, if you want to be successful, find someone who has achieved the results that you want and model what they do, and you'll achieve the same results. Okay, model what they do. You get to do that with this program. You get to look over my shoulder, see what I do, why I do it, and the results that I get. Okay, let's see. And you still have a chance to get in by going to 30dayprofits.com, enter your order, and you're going to be part of a great group of people that are already in, that are action takers, right? There's both URLs right there. And here's the thing. If you don't have the $9.97 right now, you can break it up into 2 payments by visiting yourkindlekit.com or by going to 30dayprofits.com to make 1 payment. All right. So last but not least, if you have not signed up yet, tell me, why haven't you? Is it reason number 1, you don't think that you can come up with an ebook idea that'll sell? Well, if that's the case, then you have my 3-part crazy guarantee, where I will actually help you to go in and come up with an idea. All right. So that's not a valid excuse. Reason number 2, are you nervous about putting it all in place? Right? Is that something that has you concerned? If that's the case, then, this is super easy. You can be, even if you've never done anything online, I highly recommend this, because the way that it's structured, right? I created it so that anyone, whether you're a newbie or you're someone that's more advanced, you can go in and you can do this. Right? Reason number 3, you may think that it's too expensive. Well, there's the missed opportunity cost, right? So I was talking to someone who's very, very, very smart, and he said, this is the guy who's made millions and millions of dollars. He said, Ty, one of the reasons why most people don't do well is, instead of them, because they look at the cost of getting to the next level as an expense. They look at it as an expense. He says successful people don't look at things as an expense, but they look at it as a way of investing to turn a profit. Now, by you not getting in, there's what's known as the missed opportunity cost, because the $9.97 that you're not paying right now could have gotten you to a position where you generate, you know, let's say on a small scale, $5,000 a month. In over a year, that's $60,000. So not getting in at $9.97 can cause you to miss the opportunity of generating $60K a year. All right. Again, there's both URLs, 30dayprofits.com. You can get in for $9.97, or yourkindlekit.com, where you can get in at $549. The other reason why you may not have signed up yet is if you live outside of the US. Well, here's the good news. You can do this no matter what country you live in. There's like 3 or 4 dozen countries that Amazon allows you to publish Kindle books from. All right. Reason number 5 is you want time to think about it. If that's the case, write down the URL. And if you have a business partner, your wife, your husband that you need to talk it over with, then that's fine. So write that down right now, or take a screenshot so that you have it once we close this out. All right. Reason number 6, English is not your first language. If that's the case, you'll be glad to know that Amazon does allow you to publish in multiple languages. So you can publish in French, you can publish in Spanish, you can publish in Portuguese, right? Again, both URLs, 30dayprofits.com. Take a screenshot if you're not in already, and if you want to get in, yourkindlekit.com, where you can make 2 payments of $549, one now and one 30 days from now. If you didn't sign up immediately, reason number 7, you've never sold anything online and you're new to all of this. Well, if that is true, then this is the best way to get started with Kindle publishing, because you're partnering with a multi-billion-dollar company. All right. Reason number 8, you don't have enough money. Right. Well, if that's the case, if you're in the US, you can use PayPal credit and you get access to the course immediately, but PayPal will allow you to forego making a payment for 6 months. So you'll be able to get access to this course right now immediately using PayPal credit and not have to make a payment for 6 months from now. All right. And by then you'll have hopefully you'll have everything up and running, right? Reason number 9, tell me, why is everyone else in on this, but you haven't signed up yet? Why is everyone else in, but you haven't signed up yet? All right. Here's a couple of testimonials that I want you to listen to really quickly. And then we're going to jump into that Zoom meeting for all of the new students that have come on board. All right. So take a listen to this.
Hi guys, my name is Sabine.
Actually, this is the student that I told you who flew from Germany to meet me and my wife in London. I was speaking at an event out in London, and she had heard that I was going to be out there, and she said, Ty, your program has changed my life so much, not only her life, but her partner's life as well, because she shared it with her partner. You can do that. You can share it with someone if you want. And she wanted to show her gratitude by flying from Germany to London and she took me and my wife out she treated us to lunch, which I thought was pretty cool. That was a really cool way of showing your gratitude. Don't you agree? So her name is Sabina. So here, you can take a listen to what she's going to say here.
And I started with the Kindle cash flow system mid of April and published so far 3 Kindle books, with 6 more books in the making as we speak. They will be published over the next 2 weeks. So I'm quite a newbie on Kindle, but I really, really do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I bribed my friend Sonia to come on board, as she has a wealth of knowledge with regards to health, nutrition, and fitness. She's actually a holistic health coach. And I'm also very interested in health, and most of our topics are actually related to health. And together we are just the perfect team. We find it helpful to outsource the writing of our books. However, once we receive the books back, we spice them up and put our own stamp on them. And this has worked very well so far. Our first book, How to Get Your Dream Body and Keep It, the 6-week body makeover for a flat belly, toned arms and killer legs, published under the pen name Kim Ellis, was off to a flying start right from the beginning, generating over $1,000 in royalties in the first 4 weeks. We also have published How to Start a Daycare in 5 Easy Steps, Don't Get Your Fingers Burned, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Skyrocket Your Daycare Business to Success, and OMG, My Son is Gay, how you can help your son coming out and keep him safe. And the two more to be launched over the next couple of days are No More Panic and Diagnosed with Hashimoto's What's Now. What I like about the Kindle Cashflow system is that it is a complete step-by-step system. Usually you buy a program and you get to work just to find out some really important pieces of the puzzles are missing and you can't get it to work. This is why I have been reluctant to buy more courses in the recent past. And this is also why it took me so long to come on board with Ty's course. However, Ty's course is different. It's actually a complete course. And if I'm stuck, I just drop his support team a quick email, which I'm allowed to do once a week. And usually it takes them just 48 hours to come back to me. And that's pretty cool. I can wholeheartedly actually recommend you to get started when you are after a step-by-step system and you have never actually published books on Kindle before. It's a great course. Bye.
So yeah, she's a total sweetheart. It was cool to be able to meet her in person, and it's always good to be able to interact with your students, whether it's in person or on the phone or Skype or whatever it may be. So it looks like we got a couple more people that have joined. All right, so good to have you folks in. All right, so we've got Michael Vets in. All right, so again, if you want to get in, go to 30dayprofits.com or yourkindlekit.com. Here's another one of my students who's doing extremely well with this.
Hi, you guys. Hey, I just want to tell you a little bit about Ty's Kindle program. It's pretty amazing. I've been messing around with internet stuff for 3 years, and I think all of us who've been playing around with it have heard all the hype. There's no hype in this. This thing works amazing. My name, again, I don't know if I mentioned it, Steve Schreier. I have, let's see, after a week of listening to his tapes, I had a book up and running, and now I have 5. I have 2 of them that are very successful, and one of them is called How to Stand Up and Paddle for Beginners, and the other one is How to Stand Up and Paddle Surf for Beginners. And those have been increasing every month. So, give you an example, my first month I made $200. The next month is $300. And my goal is to every month keep on adding a book, and that way I know my residual income will keep on increasing. That's the cool thing is, one of the things that I loved about Ty's program is that it was effortless. Ty cuts through all the bull. He cuts your learning curve down, because if you check out his tips and tricks, you'll realize that a lot of this stuff you would never have figured out unless he told you up front. I'll give you one example. It's pretty funny. The other day, he mentioned that, hey, price your books at a reasonable price and then start increasing them and see what happens. I did that last week, and I increased my books by about 15%, and I sold more books. And these are the kind of tips and tricks that you would never find out on your own, and Ty has experienced this. So all these things, you put it together, you have an effortless way of making money. You don't have to know, any technology. So it's probably the best thing that you can do right now to make money on the internet, including the growth of the Kindle program. It's an outrageous setup. So take advantage of Ty and his wisdom, and buy the program. You'll have way too much fun with it. Take care.
Okay, and I get these things like all day long. It's insane how many people send in testimonials of their success, and I want to be able to share your testimonial as well. So if you're already in the program, or once you get in, you start to publish stuff, please, by all means, send me a video testimonial of your results so that I can share it with other people as well. Here's one more. This is the final one.
Hi, my name is Valerie Pope, and I'm coming to you from my home office just right outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. And tonight I just want to spend a couple of minutes with you, just letting you know how excited I am that I purchased Ty Cohen's Kindle publishing course back I believe it was last November. I went through the videos, took copious notes, and got started right away. In about 3 weeks, I had my first book published, and it's done very well. It went to #1 in a niche that I didn't expect it to hit #1 in, but there you go. I just put the principles to work. Ty's course is a step-by-step guide that even a 57-ish, oops, I just said my age, 57-year-old mom can follow and actually make it happen. I am thrilled with what I've been able to accomplish and where I'm headed next. I want to show you a couple of my books. Here we go. You can see right here, this is my first book. It's called Westy Bible. And that was the very first effort that I did following Ty's principles. I quickly also published HCG Weight Loss, The Plan, and its companion book, HCG Weight Loss Recipes. Most recently, I've published a book about homeschool transcripts, how to create a high school transcript for your homeschool students. Now, those aren't the only books that I have up, but I think I have 2 more up. But this is how I'm doing. You'll see the date on this. I hope you can see it. It says 5/26/2012. And then if I scroll over just a little bit, I hope that you can see that my 6-week total for this past 6 weeks is $664.97. I am thrilled that my husband and I purchased this course, and I just can't recommend it more highly. If you're interested in Kindle publishing, learning the nuts and bolts from the ground up, or even if you're kind of seasoned, I think that you'll probably even appreciate this course if you're a seasoned publisher, because there's just so much good information in it. I'll tell you again, if I can do it, you can do it too. Thanks. Bye.
There you go. So they come in just like clockwork, left and right. And again, I want to be at the point where I could show your testimonial as well. So that is it, folks. This was a long but really good. On my part, it was really good. I hope you guys got a lot of value. Oh, I think I hear Bill in the background there. Bill?
I wanted to mention something, and this is, I work with I talk to a lot of my customers, and a lot of these folks have been doing this for years, and they've been struggling with trying to write a book that sells, trying to create books that actually create revenue for them. So the question I'd like to ask is, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been trying to make it with Kindle books? Has it been a year or 2 years? And if the answer is a number of years, then you have to ask yourself, do I still want to be right where I'm at today a year from now? So with a program like this, if you get in and you get the training and you get up to speed and you get the help that Ty is offering to you, then a year from now could be very different than what you're looking at today.
That's a very good question there, Bill. I think that's a very, very good and valid question. So, it's something that even being successful at that at this is something that I ask myself. How do I continuously move the needle, right? So that I change things from week to week, month to month, year to year. So great question. If you're not where you want to be right now, and what do you have to do to change that so that next year, and these years fly by. I mean, they go by really quickly, right? So where do you see yourself? All right. So that's it. Hey, Bill, this was really fun. You've got a great audience, so I appreciate you inviting me here. And I'm going to now, what time is it? I'm going to jump on this Zoom meeting, invite everyone. Let me download the email addresses here and download and invite everyone who signed up. And so far, it looks like we have about 2 or 3 more slots left. Probably about 2 more slots if my math is right. So if you're watching the replay, we're live now, but if you're watching the replay, get in right now before we're totally gone. And as I mentioned earlier, you'll know if there's availability or not if the page, you get to the order page, 30dayprofits.com or yourkindlekit.com, and it says sold out. All right, so do that. And again, what we'll do is for everyone that misses the live Zoom call that I'm going to do right now, I'll give you access to it in the form of a recording. All right, so that way you get to see everything that everyone else sees. All right, so how's about that? All right, Bill. Once again, I appreciate it. This was awesome. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Glad to have you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, one last thing, Bill. I'm going to leave this page up for about 2 or 3 minutes, just in case anyone wants to take a note of the URLs. So I'll leave it up.
Okay.
Bye-bye. And for everyone that's a customer, one last thing, I am going to go in, give me about 10 minutes, and I'll send you that Zoom link, and we'll jump on right now. All right?